we are moving on to chapter 18. In chapter 18, we are continuing working on our sevens. Here's some review, and over here we have some more review. Okay. Now there's something different over here where we are doing 3-digit numbers times 1 digit. So, and it's pretty simple because there's only one real number and the other ones are just zeros. So, for example, if we do number 13, it says 200 times 4. Remember what we said. The bottom number is multiplied by every single number at the top. So you do 4 times 0, that is 0. 4 times 0, that's another 0. 4 times 2, that is 8. So it's 800. Okay? And that's how you do all of them that are like this. The 100 times 9, the 300 times 3, same thing. Okay? Okay. Number 16 says, how many days are in 6 weeks? How many days are in 1 week, you guys? Okay, how many days in 6 weeks? Well, in 1 week, there are 7 days. So that would be 42 days. Okay? Okay, we move on to 18b, and over here we have some more of the same, just practice that we've been working on, and the new ones that I just showed you how to do. Okay, so over here we have some more review. This is stuff that we've already done. Remember, you do 7 times 0, 7 times 1, 7 times 2, 7 times 3, 7 times 4, and you continue going, and then you just answer the bottom at the top. 7 times 1 is 7, 7 times 2 is 14. Okay, if you know how to skip count by sevens, that might make it easier. You can just do 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. But, you know, if you don't, you just answer the questions underneath. Okay, those equations are what you're answering at the top. 7 counted 7 times. What does that equal? 7 times 7. Okay, that equals 49. Okay, this one says Scott spent 8 weeks at his grandparents' house. For how many days did he visit them? Well, if he spent 8 weeks, how many days are in a week? 7. So that is 56. And I love this problem because the 7 and the 8s are the hardest multiplication facts to learn. And so putting them together really makes it just like, oh gosh, what is that? I don't know. But this is the way that I teach this one. If you have 8 times 7, you just have to remember that 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so your answer is just the first 2 numbers before these two. 5, 6, 7, 8. Isn't that cool? I love that trick. Okay, so that's that. It's 56. This one says a fortnight is 2 weeks. How many days are in a fortnight? Well, 1 week is what? 7 days, and this fortnight equals 2 weeks, so it is 14 days. Okay, 14 days. Okay, number 18 says 100 soldiers marched in each group. There were 7 groups. How many soldiers marched in all? So now, okay, they're using the word problems to help us set up bigger equations. So 100 soldiers and marched in each group, and there were 7 groups. So that's what this looks like. Okay, and this is just 700. Okay, over here we have some more of that, more of the review, and more of, and remember, just because they're stacked like this, they're just getting you guys ready to start stacking these, because we're getting into bigger multiplication problems. But it's the same thing. 7 times 4 is 28. Even if it was, if it's side by side, it's 28. If it's stacked on top of each other, it is still 28. Okay, so don't let that get you worried and think that, you know, you're not doing anything right. Okay. This we've already gone over how to do those. Okay. Okay, let's do this one. It says 400 blackbirds, 400, swooped over our backyard. How many wings were beating over the yard? So there was 400 birds. How many wings does one bird have? That's what you always have to ask yourself. If it says, how many horseshoes? Well, how many horseshoes does one horse need? How many wings does one bird have? How many paws does one dog have? Okay, you always ask yourself that. So here, birds have 2 wings. So that's what we're multiplying. Okay, so 0, 0, and 8. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 4 is 8. And that's how we get that. So there were 800 wings flying in the yard. Okay, well, there's more of this review, but I'll do the bottom ones because those I feel like everybody always has a hard time with. So remember, we have yards and feet. When we have something like this where we have 27 feet, okay, equals blank yards, then this is the first thing we ask ourselves. We look at that and we say, what's bigger, feet or yards? Yards is bigger. Okay, so that means since yards are bigger, then I'm probably going to need less of them to measure a field. I'm probably going to need more feet because they're so tiny that in order to measure that same field, I would need more of those. So since this is going to be my bigger number, that's going to be the equals part, equal 27. Then I know that one yard equals 3 feet, so I know that's my other number. And now I just have to find the missing number, which is 9. 9 times 3 equals 27. So this is 9. Okay, so that is the thought process that will help you figure these out. Let's go to the next one. It says 15 teaspoons, okay, equals blank tablespoons. Okay, so 15 teaspoons equals blank tablespoons. Okay, which ones are bigger, teaspoons or tablespoons? Tablespoons are bigger, so in order to measure the same amount of sugar, we'll probably need way more teaspoons and way less tablespoons. So this is going to be our biggest number because these are going to be smaller. This is going to be less of them. So we do equals 15. We put the bigger number at the end. Okay, because when we multiply, this is always our bigger number over here by the equals by itself. Okay, so we're multiplying and we know that there's 3 teaspoons in 1 tablespoon. So we know that's our other number. Now we just have to find the missing one, which is 5. 5 times 3 goes 15. So 15 teaspoons equals 5 tablespoons. Okay. Okay. Let's see, we have some more of these, which are, remember when we do these, we solve just like it's done here, and then we can accurately choose which one is bigger and which one is smaller. If we don't solve first, that we can get confused, okay? So we always solve first. This one is, this would be 30, 31, this would not be 11, and then this one would be 29. So see, he didn't solve that, whoever had this didn't solve that correctly. They so then they got 11 and they answered it wrong because 16 plus 15, okay, is 31. Okay, so since that's 31, and 35 minus 6 is 29, then it's really supposed to be that way, not the opposite. Okay, so make sure you solve first and that you check your work and solve correctly. Okay. Okay, another name for 100 years is a century. Dad told Craig that an old house in their town is 3 centuries old. How many years old is the house? So 1 century is 100, and Dad told Craig that an old house in their town is 3 centuries. So we're gonna do 3 centuries, okay, and see what that gives us. It's 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 1 is 3. So it's 300 years old, okay? Okay. Okay. Over here, here's some more review. Over here are some questions that we've already worked on, similar ones, so I think you guys can get them. Over here, just remember that, you know, 1 week is 7. Over here at the bottom, 1 week equals 7 days. 2 pints equals 1 quart, and then try to do that the way I've been teaching you guys, okay? Over here we have the same things that we've been reviewing, which is equals, greater than, less than. Okay, a century is 100 years old. 100 years. Remember that a century is 100. Okay, let's do number 19. That one's a little trickier. So it says 5 people have decided to work together to clean up 15 miles of road in their town. Each person has cleaned 2 miles of road. How many miles are left to clean? Okay, so they want to clean up 15 miles altogether of road, right? Each person has cleaned 2 miles. Okay, so 5 people, okay, each one did 2 miles. Okay, how much did they clean up already? Looks like they cleaned up 10 miles. Okay, how many miles are left to clean? Well, it was 15 total that they wanted to clean. Looks like they already did 2 each, and there's 5 of them, so they did 10 altogether. So let's subtract how much they already cleaned from how much they have to clean altogether, and we get 5. So they have 5 miles left to clean. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's do number 20 as well. Number 20 says, Rod dug for fishing worms in a plot of ground that measured 5 feet by 5 feet. 5 by 5, okay? That's where he was getting his worms from. And he was able to find 1 fishing worm per square foot. After his fishing trip, he had 11 worms left. How many worms did he use? So if he was able to find 1 fishing worm per square foot, what that means is when you multiply length times width to find the area, okay, area equals 5 times 5, and it's 25. That's the area, okay? So that is the square feet. This is how, this will always be 25 square foot squared, square feet, okay? So this is always going to be 25 feet, foot squared, okay? So this is always going to be 20, it's squared feet. Whenever you multiply length times width, it's always squared feet. So over here it's saying that he was able to find 1 fishing worm per square foot. So if he has 25 square feet, okay, so when you hear square foot, you know automatically that that is, they multiplied, okay, because they multiplied length times width to find the square feet, okay, because the area is always in square feet. The area you will always find in square feet. So anytime that you hear something like that, he was able to find 1 fishing worm per square foot, you know that that means they multiplied length times width and found the area. So now we have our square feet for the entire area right here, okay, and we know that per each one of these square feet he was able to find 1 worm, so we know that it's 25 times 1, and that's just 25, okay, so we know he found 25 worms. So 25 worms, and then it said he had 11 worms left after his fishing trip. So he was done fishing and he had 11 left, okay? So we have to find out how many worms he used. Well, let's subtract the ones he had left, and that will give us how many he used. So 5 minus 1 is 4, 2 minus 1 is 1. So he used up 14 worms on his fishing trip, okay? That's what that is. And then over here we have some more review and some more of the quarts and gallons and quarters and dollars, remember, they're just giving you the equation in opposites. Instead of giving you the two numbers you multiply, they're giving you the answer. And they're only giving you one of the numbers. From over here, it's quarts to gallons, so it would be 4, because 4 quarts equal a gallon. Over here, it's quarters to dollars. There's 4 quarters in a dollar, so that would be your other number for this one. So it'd be equals 24, okay, like this. 4 quarters equal a dollar, so times 4 and equals 24. And then you would have to find the first number, which would be 6. So this would be 6. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we have in the back over here. Okay, over here we have greater than, equal to, or less than. Okay. For a science project, Cody recorded the temperature every morning for 9 weeks. Remember, how many days in a week? You just multiply that by 9. Okay? 9 weeks. Okay, number 19. Sue bought a hat for each of her 3 sons and her $5. The hats cost $3 a piece. How much did she spend in all? So what did we say last time? What did we say about this? When Sue bought a hat for each of her 3 sons and her 5 daughters. Does it matter when she's asking, they're asking us how much she spent in all? Does it matter, you know, to split them into genders? No, it does not. It doesn't. So we need to find out how many children she has in total, and then we'll work with that. So she bought a hat for each of her 3 sons, okay, and her 5 daughters. So she has 8 kids. So she bought a hat for each one of her 8 kids, okay? And the hats were $3 each. So she has 8 kids. Each hat costs $3. So she spent $24 in all, okay? Okay, this one says, each morning Adam rode his bike 3 miles to work. At the end of the day, he took a longer 5-mile route home. How many miles did Adam ride in 5 days? Okay, well, we have to, it says in 5 days. So first we have to find out how much he rode in 1 day, okay? So if you rode to work, and he rode 3 miles to work, and then when he got off of work that same exact day, he rode 5 miles. Then every day he rides 8 miles. Okay, that's going to work and that's coming back home. And then it's asking us how many miles so this is how much he rides every day. Now it's asking how many miles does he ride in 5 days. So we have 8 times 5, okay? Because it's going to be 8 every single day. So we have to multiply. And that gives us 40 days. Okay? Okay, good. We're all done with chapter 18. If you have any questions, message me on Slack and I will answer them. Thank you.